Okay guys, rewired the hydrogen generator. This is one of the relays that came off of it. This had the double wire from the switched on the dash. So what I basically did was take this one, mount it on the firewall, ran the negative that was hooked up to one of the tubes, and it's tied into the battery, spliced into the battery, the negative battery cable, which then goes down and feeds the first negative tube. This wire right here taps into the positive side of the battery. Yellow wire, of course, is to my switch on the dashboard that powers the relay, which powers the generator. And then this red wire goes down and ties on to the positive node on the second tube. And then I just fed the wires down, tied them into the unit, which is reinstalled in the bottom. And I'll show you what it looks like in series, and then I'll explain to you the readings I'm getting, and then maybe somebody can enlighten me on what I'm either doing right or wrong. Hold on. Okay, this is what it looks like underneath. There's my negative from the relay. This is my positive from the relay. And this is my cross wire, which is tying the positive on the first tube to the negative on the second tube. That, I do believe, is how you wire this unit in series. If anybody has any other ideas on how I do this, because I sure can't think of them, I would appreciate your help. Now, on to the readings I got. When I fired this thing up, I'm getting now I'm just using distilled water just to make sure I didn't blow anything up or fry any electronics. Everything started up fine. Everything's good. I put a test probe, I put my multimeter on this negative and this positive, and I'm getting 7.5 volts. If I put it on this lug and this lug, I get 7.5 volts. If I put it on these two, I get 7.5 volts. But if I put the negative on this and the positive on this, I get 13.68. So I'm getting full voltage across the cells. But each individual cell is only getting 7.5. Now, like I said, I'm not an electronical genius. I haven't added any electrolyte to it. That's my next step. I'm going to use sodium hydroxide. But I'm just curious if that is normal when you hook them up in series. I thought the amps went down by half, but the voltage remained consistent with each cell. Like I said, I've never done this before, so if anybody can enlighten me, maybe draw me a diagram, maybe take a picture of the video I'm sending, maybe edit it, edit it on, MS Paint or Picture Perfect or whatever the heck it is. But hey, listen, if everything's running the way it's supposed to, then I'm happy as a clam. So I'm going back up top, slap some juice to it, and see what happens. So I'll get back to you. Hey YouTube, camper. Okay, we got it worked out. Yes, we did hook up in series. Yes, I am getting 6.25 volts at each cell, and then across the entire unit, I'm getting 13.68. When I initially started the unit up, it just had straight steam distilled water in it. I was getting 0.2 amps on the amp meter. I took a gallon of another gallon of water I had, and I mixed up a ½ teaspoon of sodium hydroxide, mixed it up, topped the tank off, probably put, I don't really know how much I put in it, just my bubbler was like half full, so I just topped it off. I started having, the bubblers really started to roll, and so I ran back around inside the truck, and my amp meter was climbing up through the roof. By the time I poured the mix in, looked down, saw the reaction coming up the return lines. Till the time I got back in the cab, I'd already passed 24 amps on the gauge. Now I know since it's hooked up in series, I really don't have to worry about until the amp gauge hits 60 because by the time I got everything shut down, I had already passed 36 amps on the amp gauge, and I have a 30 amp relay and a 30 amp fuse, and they would have blown. So I'm guessing because I'm running both cells, that 36 was actually 18 amps per cell. I guess I didn't blow the fuse. I didn't trip the relay. It kept climbing. So because I'm not an electrical genius and I'm just doing this by the seat of my pants, I shut the system off at the switch, opened both drain valves, dropped a quart of water out, refilled it, kept bumping it. I would bump it on and then bump it off, letting the fluid circulate and mix. Right now it's stable. The amp gauge is reading 24, between 24 and 25 amps. So hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I figured it's 12 amps per cell. The thing's cranking out. It's cranking out the hydrogen. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to the fire department tomorrow, so I'm going to top off at the good old Walmart because they got the cheapest gas. Same thing as always do. When it fills, it clicks. You know, I go till the next click. I let it go. I don't fill it on fast. I fill it on slow. I mean, I don't have an exact measurement of fuel, but I can't be that far off. You know, an 80% fuel increase, you can't be that far off on when your tank fills and you go one more click. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So it's as close as I can get to mileage. So tomorrow run it again. Wednesday I'll make another video and keep you all up to date. Like I said, I've never run a series cell, I've never built a series cell, and I've never wired one, so it's all new to me. I'm going to do a little bit of reading, but so far I haven't blown anything, I haven't burned any wires up. I've tested all the connections, everything seems good. I used heat shrink wire and brand new connections and wire connections, and I've got everything out in the open where it's not touching something else. So I've tried to wipe out all the mitigating circumstances that would really screw me on this. So y'all along for the ride. So let me get back to it and let me get this uploaded, and I gotta move my crap out of my car back into the truck because I hadn't planned on taking it. So one more day until the next time. See you Wednesday.